With the Inox dead, you take stock of what you found in the cave's final section. It's mostly earthen pots full of ash and bits of bone, but among their belongings, you do find a large tome. It is hacked up and falling apart, but most of the pages are still readable. You carefully stow it in your pack and head back to Gloomhaven. You are my heroes, Dominic says when you return with the Codex. This is everything I could ever have hoped for. I mean, sure, it could be in better shape, but no matter. I will begin studying it immediately.
Dominic approaches you with a sullen demeanor as you enter the town records building. It feels weird seeing you after so short a time. Obviously, you just delivered the Codex of Directives to me, and normally it would take longer to fully study and transcribe the Aether's story, but... well, we have a significant problem. As usual, you're directed to the back room, but as Dominic opens the door, you see a scene of chaos and destruction. The table is overturned, and torn books are scattered across the floor. They took everything, Dominic sighs. They took the Codex. They took my book. Barbarians. He sees your confused, concerned look and continues. They called themselves the Vigil. They said I was messing with things that I shouldn't be. They stormed in wearing full armor as I was poring over the Codex just minutes after you left. They said they were tasked with keeping the Codex of Directives safe. And then they began looking for any copies I'd made, ultimately settling on just stealing the history of Gloomhaven I was writing. Dominic slams a destroyed book down on the floor. It's infuriating! The Vigil? Who in the name of the Oak are the Vigil? Primitives is what they are. Look at how they treated my books. Dominic closes his eyes and takes a deep breath. Eventually, a small smile creeps across his face. We do have two things going for us, though. One is that I think we're all incredibly determined to get that book back. I'm going to reach out to my contacts, maybe do a little research. I will go find out who the Vigil are and where to find them, and then I'm going to send you in to kill every last one of them. The second thing is that I have a very sharp memory. Dominic produces a crumpled scrap of paper from his robes. I read through about half of the Aether's story before the thugs came in swinging their swords. I think I've produced a pretty accurate transcription. I'll read it. This is the story told by the Aether Nared to the commanders of the Demon War. The ruins on which you now stand were once the capital of an expansive, thriving civilization. There were no Valraths or humans, just a single race, growing and maturing in harmony with its surroundings. In this place, ancient man had many noble pursuits. He looked into the very large expanse above us, contemplating the stars, and he also looked at the very tiny things that make up everything on this earth. The ancient man's quest for knowledge was vast, and it stretched too far. With great intensity, the ancient man's gaze turned to something outside this world, to the infinite planes of being that existed beyond his own. He yearned to travel to them, and to learn what he could from them. And it was because of this desire that a rift between worlds was created, and a great calamity was brought forth. For this new plane housed not the answers to ancient man's infinite questions, but only the creatures of nightmares, demons bent on the ruination of everything he held dear. Despite all of ancient man's knowledge and tools, his cities and people were ravaged beyond repair. His walls turned to rubble, and his family was torn apart, eaten, and driven into caves, where they huddled in the dark and waited for the end to come. This is known as the Great Upheaval. It's not the full thing, Dominic says, but it's a start. It answers a lot of questions, but I have a lot more. I'll let you know when I have more to go on.